In this example of Google Forms, we're going to create a form for recommending a book. And here on my website, I have a link to recommend a book. If students or teachers click on the link, they're taken to a Google Forms where they can add the title of the book, the author if they know it, and their name, and submit it so that I have that information. So now we're going to go through the steps of creating this form. I'm going to go to my Google Docs page. And then I'm going to go to Create New and Form. Here I can name the form. I'm going to name it Book Request. I can add any descriptors if I want to, such as let us know what book we should add to our collection. The first thing I would like to know is the title of the book. So I'm going to ask them to add the title of the book. If I needed any other information to help with the question, I could add it here, but in this case I think it's self-explanatory. And I want the answer to the question to be text, so I'll leave it as text. And I want this to be a required question. I want them to be sure to let me know the title of the book. So I'm done with that question. And now sample question 2, they already have here for me, but I need to edit it. So I'm going to click the pencil to edit it. The next thing I'd like to know is the author of the book, should they know it. So I'm going to put author of book. I'm not going to add any help text. Leave the question type as text again. But in this case, I'm not going to make it a required question because it's possible they don't know who the author is. So I'm going to leave that unchecked and hit done. Okay, now I have no other sections here for my next question. So I'm going to need to go up here to add item. And again, it's going to be text. And I want to know what their name is because I want to know who it is who's requesting this book. What is your name? No extra information is needed, and again, it's a text question, and I do want to make this required. I definitely want to know who's requesting this book, and I hit done. And that's basically all we need for a book request. So now I'll hit save, and you'll see at the bottom here, there's a link. If I click on that link, it takes me to my book request, where I could link to it right on my website. The other thing you can do, I've just created a nice clean, pretty much blank template for my book request, but if you go back you'll see that you could add more themes if you want to get fancy with what kind of form you want. There's all kinds of themes available. But I'm just going to keep mine at with the nice clean form. And now that that's done and I have my link to it, I want to know when people do submit the request. I want to be notified. I want to get an email letting me know that someone has requested a book. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to close out of my form. And if I go back to my Google Docs, I'm going to refresh it here. I can see that my book request forms has been turned into a spreadsheet here in my Google Docs library. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that spreadsheet. And here you can see it's been turned into a spreadsheet. If someone were to have put in a book request, it would be entered here right in my spreadsheet. But as I said, I want to know if someone submits a book request. I want to be notified. So if I go to share, I can set notification rules. And I can know when a user submits a form. I can specify when I want to get an email. I want to know right away if someone submits a form for a book request.